If you've been following this show for a while, you'll know that I tend to take a sort of middle ground approach when it comes to my film criticisms. This is a deliberate decision. I've always found that the majority of movie critics tend to be hyperbolic and have extreme opinions on VOD films, and most of them are actually deserving of a more meh reaction. There's a reason for this, and I get it. If I'm making a living off of my reviews online and I'm reviewing a VOD movie that I know no one cares about, the most certain way that I can get those clicks is to absolutely trash it, even if it's not that bad. People like bad reviews. They're just fun to watch and read. A lot of people, including me, see a 1-star rating or an F on a thumbnail and get excited. So since I'm just doing this thing for fun and have nothing to lose, I can afford to approach everything from a completely honest perspective, even if it makes for a less interesting review. Historically, this approach has led me to labeling just about everything as mediocre. I did the math, and 74% of my ratings fall into the 4 out of 10 to 6 out of 10 range. Good grief, why do you guys watch this show? I don't get passionate about anything. Anyway, with all this in mind, let's talk about Kevin Smith's new movie Yoga Hosers, which finally hit VOD last week after an epic failure of a theatrical push. If you follow movie sites and blogs, you'll see that everyone hates this thing. Critics, regular moviegoers, and even Kevin Smith fans think it's just the worst thing ever. The hatred is so intense that Kevin Smith dedicated an entire podcast to just reading the bad reviews it got. But you know me and my constant meh ratings. I can just see my review now. Today's movie is Yoga Hosers, and it's not as bad as you've heard. Yes, it's bad, but it's a mediocre kind of bad, and blah blah blah. Stupid joke and a boring voice. Steven Seagal. 4 out of 10. Yeah, honestly, I don't know why I even. Today's movie is Yoga Hosers, and it's exactly as bad as you've heard. No exaggeration, this is one of the worst movies I've seen in my life, and easily the stupidest thing Kevin Smith has done since naming his daughter Harlequin. You essentially named your daughter Clown, you stupid stoner. Anyway, Yoga Hosers is a pretty worthless piece of garbage, but I think it does serve a purpose in its own way. Honestly, it works as the most effective anti-marijuana PSA I've ever seen. I am all in favor of the war on drugs now if weed causes you to make an awful movie about Nazi bratwurst like you did with Kevin Smith here. Weed may not kill you, but it will cause you to make yoga hosers. And that's a lot worse. So this movie's about a couple of bored convenience store clerks, kind of like that awesome movie Kevin Smith made before his brain turned into scrambled eggs, played by Harlequin Smith and Johnny Depp's daughter. In casting choices that'll 1. Make you forgive the nepotism on display in After Earth, and 2. Long for Jaden Smith's wonderful acting skills in that movie. Seriously, these girls were so bad. I haven't seen comedic timing this poor since the last Nuke the Shark video. They can't sing worth crap either, so you can be sure Kevin Smith had them sing a bunch of songs. Rest in peace, Babe by Styx. Nepotism kills. I normally like Kevin Smith's movies, but I'm coming to realize how limited he is when it comes to writing characters. You see, Kevin Smith can only successfully write characters who are like Kevin Smith. That's why his movies are about slackers, comic book nerds, stoners, podcasters, or people who make movies. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. Woody Allen's been writing the same kinds of characters for over 40 years now to endless critical acclaim. Yeah, find what you're good at and stick to it. Nothing wrong with that. So with that in mind, Kevin Smith is clearly over his head trying to write for teenage girls. The dialogue is endlessly cringeworthy. I couldn't see characters saying things to each other at all while watching this. All I could see was a 46-year-old man typing up a script and trying his darndest to be hip with the kids. It's not so much that the phrases were dated, it's more so that they were just things that no one would ever say. Try and find a single line of dialogue with any authenticity to it in this. I dare you. Normally I'd at least be happy about the fact that a film about Nazi bratwurst exists, because it's such a weird and novel concept, but they hardly factor into this thing. It's padded with such useless meandering garbage like Harlequin's crush being a Satanist, which is a subplot that goes nowhere. The girls losing their phones because, oh, you know, teenage girls always on their phones, ha ha ha, that went on forever. Johnny Depp doing his stupid French guy shtick, which was old even before the end of Tusk. Ralph Garman doing celebrity impressions for no reason whatsoever, and Justin Long getting himself into legal trouble because his name is Yogi Bear because that's funny somehow. It's a completely unfocused, self-indulgent mess, and Kevin Smith should feel bad for charging people money to see it. Overall, I'm giving Yoga Hosers a 1 out of 10. Kevin, go check yourself into rehab, get clean, and please, never try anything like this ever again. Quit the marijuana, you'll be featured on Nuke the Shark until the day you die. I know you're better than this, and so do you. Knock it off.